Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I have some super exciting news today. As you'll see by the title, we are packing for Disneyland Paris. I am leaving in about 4 hours for the airport. We are going to Disneyland Paris this week for the opening of the Marvel Avengers campus. We're staying in Paris tonight. We are then moving over to Santa Fe tomorrow night, and then we are moving back to Paris on our third night, and we are spending our final day, which will be Friday, in the centre of Paris for a day. And also make sure to stay tuned because next Monday, so 6 days from now, I am flying out to Orlando, Florida to Disney World for a whole month, and there's going to be vlogs every single day. I will tell you guys more about that when we are kind of on that trip, but for now, let's get packing for Disneyland Paris. So things have changed quite a lot in the last few years. It used to be like pretty standard on a European flight to be able to take a little cabin suitcase with you, but they've now made it basically so you only get a backpack, and if you want a suitcase, even a small one, you have to pay more for it. Now me and my mum, that's who I'm traveling with this time, are cheapskates, and we do not want to pay an extra, like even like 20 quid per way. That's an extra 40 quid. We only paid £40 for our flights in total, so we are not doubling our flight prices just to take a bag when we're going on like a 3-day trip. So I wanted to share with you guys how I'm going to pack everything for a 3-night 3-day trip in Paris. So this is the bag that I'm taking. It's like a Vans rucksack. These are like the standard ones. I feel like everyone's had one of these at some point. I've genuinely had this for years. This is the bag I'm going to be taking. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up all the things I want to put in like this front pocket. Obviously the first and most important thing is your passport. That's actually in my mum's bag because we're keeping them together, but make sure you have your passport. Second off, I've got this little like coin purse. Rather than taking like a big proper purse, I thought I'd take this. I usually use this anyway, but it's literally just got a few cards. I've got my Starlink card in there, which is like a debit card with no fees, and then I've got a couple of other cards and, you know, just like general stuff. We aren't taking any euros, but you might want to take some euros also. So that's the first thing going in. The second thing I'm going to put into the front section of my bag is a couple of packets of tissues. It's not overly necessary. I feel like there's tissues in a lot of places, but I just think when you're traveling, especially when hay fever's around, you just never know. You might end up spilling food, or it's just always safe to have a couple of packets of tissues with you. Next up is a pair of sunglasses. I feel like right now, especially today, is Tuesday the 19th of July. If you guys remember this, in the UK, it is like 40 degrees outside. It's very hot. Don't ask why I'm wearing a jumper. Our house apparently is not that warm. But anyway, this will be coming out to you guys in 2 days time. It was very hot this week if you are watching it in real time. So I'm putting a pair of sunglasses in. Next up is a packet of playing cards. I feel like you can't go wrong taking a packet of playing cards, just in case. You never know, especially with the temperatures at the moment, if flights get delayed or cancelled and you kind of end up stranded somewhere. We are flying from Liverpool, which is quite a small airport, so there's not that much to do there. A pack of cards is always like a fail-safe. If your phone's run out of charge, you've got nothing to do, you can always just sit and play cards. Next up is a pair of AirPods. Obviously the flight is literally only like, what, an hour, so you don't really need that much to entertain you, but I always just take my AirPods everywhere. It just means I can watch some TV if I've downloaded it, or listen to music or whatever, but I would definitely recommend taking a pair of AirPods, or like headphones or earphones or anything like that. Next up is my house keys. Obviously, like if you're driving to the airport, you need your car key, but you know, that's kind of an obvious one. And last but not least, in the front pocket of my bag, I am putting this little bag. It's like one of those little shopping bags. I'll open it and show you guys. Everybody knows what these are. Just in case like at the airport we buy like a meal deal or something, it just means that you've got an extra space. Because we're packing so light and we only have one bag, there is not going to be space in this at the end, I can guarantee that. So having this extra little bag just means that I can put like any like little food items or drinks that I buy at the airport once we've gone through into, so I don't have to like try and juggle it and carry it in my hand. So now that the front section is completed, it's not like totally full, but it's got a fair amount of things in, I am going to move on to the main section of the bag. Okay, here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to put into my main compartment of my bag is like all the bulk of my clothes. Now we are there for 3 days, so we're flying out tonight, Tuesday evening, but we don't land until like super late, so there will be nothing happening today. And then we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I am taking a pair of pajamas. I have 2 like kind of dresses. I don't know if I'll end up wearing these or not, but I feel like sometimes it's a bit cooler, especially like I've got like a black flowy dress. I know black isn't the best colour to wear, but at least it's like kind of airy if it's like really warm. I am then going to pack 5 different t-shirts. Now obviously we're only going for 3 days, so you don't really need 5, but I just like to have options. I've got a few like big oversized t-shirts that I can wear with like cycling shorts. I've got a crop top, just like a normal t-shirt, and then a bodysuit. It just means I've got my options. I like to have choices and I can decide on the day what I want to wear. So they are going in next. I then have a pair of cycling shorts and a pair of denim shorts. So realistically, that is like the bulk of all of my clothes in. I'm also then going to pack a few pairs of socks and underwear as well, which I'll put in now. Okay, so with all of the clothes in, we are now going to move on to like the other things that I'm going to be taking. So the first thing is a hairbrush. I feel like unless you've got like really short hair, you cannot do without one of them, or at least like a comb. I am also going to be taking a pair of straighteners. Obviously these aren't really essential, but it's just like that extra thing. If you've got space for it, which I have, you might as well take them. I'm not taking curlers as well. I thought that was one step too far, but I am going to take a pair of straighteners. They are kind of going down the side, if you can kind of see here, of the clothes. So clothes are all in the middle, and then I've got the hairbrush and the straighteners kind of posted into the side of the bag. Next up, I'm taking 2 ponchos. One is actually for my mum, but it's just going in my bag. It does say there's supposed to be a storm tomorrow, so check the weather. If you're unsure, or if it seems a bit like the weather doesn't know what it's doing, just take a couple of ponchos with you. It won't do any harm. They literally take up no space, and if it rains, it means you've got yourself covered. Next up, I'm going to be putting in my trusty bum bag. I always like wearing a bum bag to the Disney parks. I don't usually take that much stuff with me. I'll take like my camera, a couple of battery packs and chargers, my phone, and my purse, and that's basically it. Maybe a poncho if it's gonna rain. So it just means I don't have to be carrying around like a big heavy bag with me all day. I can literally just take this. I'm hands-free. It means I can still obviously like film for you guys with the vlogs. I can check my phone, like I can do all the things I need to do. Obviously, like if we go to like a quick service restaurant, I can carry a tray and I don't have to worry about what my bag's doing. So I love a bum bag personally. I know a lot of people are against them. If you're against them, grab a little backpack, whatever, but for me personally, I will be taking this. So this is going to kind of just like go into the front of the top of this bag, and hopefully everything is gonna fit. We are nearly there, guys. We've nearly done it. So next up, I have this little case. If you guys have watched my videos for a while, you will have definitely seen this before. This is basically just like a little bag, and it has like a bunch of paracetamol, ibuprofen, plasters and stuff like that. If you're traveling with kids, make sure you take like Calpol and stuff. Obviously, if you have any prescription medications, make sure to take them and all the documents you need for that. But this is just what I like to take everywhere with me, just in case. You never know when you will need one of these items. So that is just going to go in. If I were you, I would put this towards the top of the bag just in case it needs to get searched. This is the one thing about packing with only one bag and everything is all jumbled together. Make sure you leave the things that might want to get searched near the top. You don't want somebody like going through all your pants, really. It happens, but if you can avoid it, then you know that is the way to do it. So put anything like this, make sure you leave your liquids at the top. They will be coming soon. So the next thing I am going to be putting in is these like makeup items that aren't liquid. Again, I would leave these near the top just in case. This is like a powder kind of palette. It's been through in my hand luggage a lot of times and nothing bad has ever happened to me, but you just never know, so make sure to leave it near the top just in case. And then these are just brushes, so they're absolutely fine. I then have 2 adapters. Obviously, if you are from the UK, you will need to bring adapters if you want to charge anything or use any electronics. So I'm taking 2 of these like regular adapters that change from the UK plug to the European plug. Next up, I have my hefty, bulky camera case. Now, obviously, if you're not into filming or photography or anything, then this will be one thing that will save you a lot of room. I have this big case, which literally has all my camera equipment in it. It has the GoPro, it has like mini tripods for both this camera that I'm using now and the GoPro. It has a bunch of charging stuff. It has like a bunch of wires. So honestly, if you don't need this, this is the kind of thing that will save you a lot of space, but I will be taking this. It will fit in if we push this towards the back. There we go. Loads of room, guys. What are we even worrying for? We then have a couple more wires that don't fit into this thing. So I've got like the normal plug. I probably won't need this, but again, if you get held up at your own airport, I've made this mistake before of going away and thinking, well, I don't need the UK version of the plug because I'm not going to be in the UK. If you get stuck at the airport, you will want one of these. So make sure to take the UK version of whatever if you need to like something specific to be charged. This is just like a normal one with a USB, but obviously if you have like USB-C or whatever kind of plugs you need, make sure to take the UK version just in case. I then have this extra like wire for my camera, which again then it just doesn't fit in that case. And then last but not least, oh, also battery packs. I don't know if I mentioned, but there are battery packs going on as well. Make sure to take battery packs for the parks. If you're doing long days like we will be, we're literally going to do like rope dropped fireworks style situation. Your phone will run out, your camera will run out, whatever you're using. So I'm probably going to take 2 battery packs. My mum will also probably take 2. They don't have fuel rods in Paris, so you kind of really need to take them, and make sure to take all the wires that you need for them as well. Now, the last couple of things I'm going to put in, if you can see here, there is plenty of space left in this bag. It doesn't look like it, but there is. Like, it will easily close. There is space to spare. Obviously, you need things like your phone and phone charger. My phone is literally on charge as we speak. But the other things that I have are all my liquids. Now, they are not going in right this second because I need one of those like clear plastic bags, and somehow we don't have them. We don't use them anymore because we just use like the paper ones if we want like sandwiches. But this is the one time you still need them. So things that are like toiletries but not liquids, I have a toothbrush, a razor, and like a beauty blender silicone thing. I'm gonna leave it with my liquids just so it's all together, but obviously they could just go in here as they are. I then have a body spray and a deodorant. I'm not taking my perfume, kind of reluctantly, but that's just so bulky that we don't have space for that. I then have a lip balm. I feel like you can't go anywhere without a good lip balm. Like, that is just so necessary, so I'm gonna put that in. Toothpaste, do not forget toothpaste. If you're looking like you're a bit full or you don't have any more space in your liquids bag because you need extra things that I haven't mentioned, then you could wait. In fact, I can't take this toothpaste, it's 125 mils, but make sure to either take toothpaste, or you could just buy it either on the other side, like through security at the airport, or you could just buy it when you get there. I'm glad I looked at that just now. Make sure to check your toothpaste, it's not over 100 mil. All these items have to be under 100 mil. Right, we then have Germaline, probably not overly necessary, but you just don't know if you get like an insect bite or something, that can save you a lot of like itching. I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of minor, but it ruins your holiday a little bit, so I always just like to have that with me. I then have a few makeup items. So I have a foundation, concealer, I have 3 different lipstick lip gloss situations, and I have a mascara. And then last but not least, to go in the liquids, I have some wipes. You could take like those like makeup remover things, but that's just what I'm using at the moment. Don't come for me, I know it's bad for the planet, but I'm moving around so fast everywhere that I just don't have time to keep like washing those makeup remover pads and stuff. So literally I'm just sticking with like normal baby wipes, and honestly they will easily fit in that little gap, and that is it. I thought that was everything, but I've just looked over the list that I made, and there are a couple of other items which I didn't mention. So these are a cooling towel. I've mentioned them before in my pack with me videos. These are super, super useful if it is warm. It's basically a light, like a small towel. It's kind of like a short scarf. And if you wet it and then wring it out, it kind of like just cools down like the back of your neck or your head, or you can literally put it anywhere and it just keeps you cool. And obviously it doesn't have to be bottled like drinking water. You can literally just find any tap anywhere and wet it. If you get warm, or if you're going and it's like a massive heat wave, I would definitely recommend getting 1 or 2 of those. Next up is a lanyard. These are not overly necessary, but if you do want to take one to put your tickets in or anything like that, then that is an additional thing that you might want to take with you. Another thing you might want to consider taking with you is a spare pair of shoes. Now, I know fairly well that my shoes are comfy, they don't give me blisters or anything like that. But if you aren't used to your shoes, or you don't know if they're going to give you blisters, make sure to take a spare pair. Obviously that is going to take up a fair amount of the space. You could take like sandals or flip-flops just so you've got an extra pair, but you really do not want to get there, end up doing a bunch of steps and getting really bad blisters and having no other shoes. Obviously you can just head to like Val d'Europe, or actually just went to one of the shops in the parks and buy a new pair of shoes, but they will be a lot more expensive, and then you have the stress of getting them back with you as well. So that is just another thing to consider. I am only going to take 1 pair of shoes, the ones that I'll be wearing, which is a pair of like comfy trainers, but it is something to think about if you're not sure about the shoes that you have. And a top tip would be, do not wear brand new shoes, because you don't know how they will react. You haven't worn them in, they will probably give you blisters. Another thing which I didn't mention but I did have on was a pair of Minnie or Mickey ears, if you are interested in wearing those. Now I'm only taking 1 pair with me, I'm gonna like wear them, but obviously you could take a couple of pairs if you've got a bit of extra space. I usually don't tend to wear them all day because they annoy me after like 10 minutes, but you know, that's another thing that you might want to take with you, especially if you have a pair, or make sure that if you are planning to buy any while you're there, that you have enough space to bring them back or are willing to wear them on the plane on the way home. Another thing you might want to take is a spare plastic bag for any laundry, just so that you know when you get back which clothes are clean and which ones aren't. But realistically, you probably, depending on how much you take, will end up wearing everything, so you might just want to like throw everything in the wash when you get back. But that is another thing I tend to take with me on trips, just so you can kind of separate out what you've worn and what you haven't, especially because we will be moving in between different hotels. We're staying in 3 different hotels while we're there, so we might want to make sure that we know what's been worn and what hasn't. Another thing to think about is hair bubbles, especially when it's really warm outside. It can be quite hot to have your hair up, so if you have any hair bubbles and you want to take them, then that is a good shout. I literally don't own any hair bubbles, so that's not going to happen for me. I might buy some at Boots when we go through after security, but that is another thing you might want to think about. And then last but definitely not least is snacks. I didn't even think about it, I didn't mention them. I don't really have any snacks because I don't know if you guys have seen the video, but I recently just bought a house and I've kind of been like in between. I'm actually at my mum's house right now, bought my new house at my mum's house, and then I went to London for a couple of days, so it's just been a little bit all over the place. But obviously, depending as well, like if you have any dietary requirements or anything, you might want to take some food with you. I literally just have like a couple of bags of sweets that I just happened to have, which I'm going to take. And obviously you can always buy stuff there, you can go to the mall, you can get something at the airport. Like, it's not a big stress, but it is just a little thought, especially if you have children who are going to be like hungry after 5 minutes in the car on the way to the airport. Take a couple cereal bars, it won't do any harm. So that concludes everything that I'll be taking. Those few things will definitely fit in the top of this bag. So we have packed for 3 nights and 3 days in Paris / Disneyland Paris. If I can close it, moment of truth. All inside of a small rucksack. So I do hope this is useful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you are thinking, and ahhing, can I do it? You can do it. Obviously, if you have small children, it might be different. If you need like a bunch of like nappies and formula, I understand. Maybe you might want to just go ahead and buy one of the suitcases. But for us, if you're just like a couple of adults going for a few days, you can definitely do it in a backpack. This is what it looks like. It's quite full. I don't know the measurements, but I do know I'll just squish it really tight if they do ask. I'm sure I've traveled with this before as like the backpack and nobody's ever said anything, so I'm sure it will be okay. Again, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the vlogs coming very, very soon. It's going to be an additional vlog coming either Saturday or Sunday of the Marvel grand opening, and then there's going to be the rest of the vlogs. Then we're going straight on to Orlando, so make sure to stay tuned for all of that content coming very, very soon. Other than that, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time with a brand new video. Bye!